Hi everybody, and welcome back to our simple browser MMO tutorial video. Okay, this is video 4, and what I did just to start off here, we're going to create a couple tables. We're going to create a table called archetype, attributes, and restrict names. What I'm going to use restrict names for is it's going to be a list of all the bad names I don't want people to use as a player name or a username, so I can check that against the name they're putting in, so I can tell them you can't use that name, basically. Okay, so let's take a look at the restrict names table and the structure. Pretty straightforward, just the ID, auto increment, and varchar 30 for the name. Very straightforward. Okay, next we're going to take a look at the attributes table. Okay, here we are in the attributes table. I'm just going to go to structure first. Basically we have an ID, short name, and description. Basically there's going to be 6 attributes in the game, or up to 6 attributes in the game. We have a short name, which, let me take a look at that here. For instance, short form of strength would be STR. A little description of what strength actually is. Dex, con, intelligence, wisdom, and I put luck. The reason why I put them in a table like this as opposed to just hard coding into strength, dex, con, and intelligence is so people can change it and customize. Just say you don't want strength in your game, you want to call it toughness instead. Sure, just go in and change the name, and you can name your attributes whatever you want, and you don't even have to have 6 in your game if you don't want to. Just say you only want 4 attributes. Great, you can have 4. Just leave these as nulls and it'll work just fine. Okay, the last table we made is archetype. I don't believe I have anything in there right now. Just got it structured out. And right, I don't. I just got the ID as always, name, varchar 20, and description long text. What we're going to use the archetype table for is classes are going to be divided into 4 basic archetypes. You know, the standard warrior, tank fighter class, arcane caster mage class, wisdom caster priest class, and rogue class archetypes. Okay, that takes care of the database for now. Now we're going to go back over to, actually first we're going to log back in with our test guy we created here, Ricksan. Here we go. Okay, you can see I added this here to the landing page, which basically says to play this game you must pick a player name, and click here to pick your player name, and you'll notice that I'm checking to see if session.player name is equal to empty. So what I had to do, I had to go back to our do logins where it logs in and we start setting up the session. I added the session.player variable, loaded the session.player variable, so that's open. So now it goes to the landing page and it's empty. He hasn't set up a player's name, so he's going to have to go here to set up the player name. Pretty straightforward. So let's go over to get player name. Okay, pick player name. We'll open up pick player name. Pick. Okay, there we go. This is all standard stuff. You'd all already have that in every one of your pages. Okay. I created obviously a simple form. Pick player name. Add some PHP which we can use for feedback if if taken, if I post back with a taken, if the taken is set, when I do the get, it's going to give me an error. You'll see that when I go to process the form and do player name. Okay, you all should understand the form. It's a pretty simple form. Player name, our standard token. Just one thing to discuss before we go on. I added this no white space to our Jquery validate, so it doesn't let me put white spaces in. Like if I was going to type Rick is and hit submit, I'd say no white spaces. That way, you don't want these to be all one word. That's why the no spaces is in there. Okay. In order to get that to work, I had to add the additional methods. As you see right here, they're already in the folder. I just, for some reason, didn't add them to the page, but I just added them here. So you have to go ahead and add the additional message to your Jquery validates up on each page that you're going to use that. It's a handy function to use. Okay, we're going to want to submit that. So we're going to take a look at do player name. Here we go. Okay, we have our standard authorization login, our token, as you always have. Put the variable from post variable from post into variable. Okay, and this little one here, this preg replace is the PHP version of that no white spaces. So what that's going to do, if there's any white space in that variable, it's going to remove it. So if for some reason it doesn't gets through the Jquery validation, and there's still some white spaces like a tab or a space bar or anything, it'll get rid of it, put it all into one word. Then of course I'm checking from my users to see if okay, like I said right here, we're querying our users table to get the player name for a particular user, or any particular user actually, to make sure that player name isn't already in use. If it is, we're going to send a get back saying taken. So if we go to, I'll say go to our p name, and this is where this comes in. If the get taken is set, then display that error. Okay, so we'll assume the name isn't taken, and then we're going to do the exact same thing, except we're going to check in our restricted names table, see if that name he's trying to use is restricted. If it is, we're going to send it back as taken, so he doesn't know if it's restricted or someone's already using it. He doesn't need to know that. Yeah, so that's what our strict names table is used for. Okay, if that's okay, we're going to update the player names field in our users table with the player name he has chosen. And we are going to insert that information to the players table. Oh, which I didn't talk about that. Okay. Do I even have... Oh, I did create the player. Okay. We're also going to have to create a players table. Sorry I didn't tell you that. I thought I had. I already have a player name here named Azar. And I just want to truncate this because I'm going to want to put that back in. Yeah, okay. And in the players table, we have user ID. Let's go back to players table. In the players table, we got the ID, the player name of the person, the ID of the user, access level, which is going to be similar to our user level. So different pages will have different access levels required. Different things in the game will depend on your access. The data is registered, and a slot for the ID of up to 6 characters, and a max character with an age 2. It's going to start off as a default value of 2. It's a small int, and what max character is going to do is the maximum number of starting character slots that are available to the character, to the player, and that is 2. So you're going to start with 2 character slots, and later on through the game, through whatever, you can end up with more, up to 6 character slots. Okay. So let's go ahead and we'll register these here. As are, sorry. I've already done this, that's why it's already partially filled in. I go submit. We have successfully registered your name as SR. And see right here, this is just a standard PHP page with the after we successfully registered as R, and we'll scroll back. And go back to our landing page. As we can see here, it checks to see if the session player, if session player name is empty. It is. It isn't empty. It's actually got a name as R. So now it's going to give us the link to go play the game. Okay, I'm just going to type SR back in here. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to type shit back in here. See if I can get a player name shit. Pick another name. That name is user restricted. Perfect. Okay. Back to our landing page. We can play now, and we're going to go back to where's this play now button, which I just added here. It's going to send us to the character select page, which we'll talk about in our next video. But for now, we're just going to click on the admin page. You'll see I've added a little bit of something in there as well. Okay, you can see in our admin nav panel here, there's 3 new pages under the world builder title. That is the attributes, the archetype, and the restrict names. And anything in the world builder, that's going to be where we're going to manage the aspects of our world for our game. So you see here in our admin nav, I just added user level of 7 or higher. You'll be able to see it. Okay. Let's take a look at restrict name. Okay, restrict name. This should all be pretty much straightforward for you. There's that no white space we talked about earlier. Okay, here. I just added a form. Very simple. And another form to act as a button. Just going to post back to this same page with the list. I'm going to set a get list. If the get list property is set, I'm going to create a table. Let's show the list here. Okay, and create a table of all the bad names. And create a table of all the bad names. Well, you can create a table and you search all the names in our Legends Quest, Legends of Solus restrict names table. And just put it through a while loop, so for each result. Going to loop through, create a row. Yeah. So let's go up to here. Do restrict name. Okay, we can't go to do restrict name because I haven't actually created that yet, or the code for removing the names. I just put this up here so we can get started on our world builder for the admins there, just to show you how things are going to work. So you're going to be able to go in and add band names as they like and remove them. Same with the arch type. I didn't even do it all. Do that in another video. Do strict names, attributes. Yep, this is a list of all the attributes. We're going to be able to click here and edit them. So if you don't like strength, you can call it health. If you don't like intelligence, you can call it brains. And edit the description. I just got the descriptions off Wikipedia. So let's go take a look at our attributes page. Okay, here. This part's all pretty straightforward. So the first thing I did was I hit the attributes table and got all our values out of the attributes table. So like short one, name one, description one, and so forth. And what I originally was going to do, I was just going to put them all in the variables. But then I ran into a little snag. As I come down here and I wanted to make this table, I originally had it so it would echo out each row one at a time. It was a long code, and I got suggestion. So I was having trouble doing a for loop with variable names, so I couldn't increment the variable names. So I got the idea of putting the variables into an array. So that's what I did here. I'm just going to delete this because we don't need this. I just left it there to show you how much more code in the old way took up. So we're going to delete that. And I created an array called short for all the short names. Short name was 3, and an array name for all the names, an array description for all the name descriptions. Okay, I went down here to for my created a standard table using the PHP to generate the rows. So what I did was create a variable called I. As long as I is equal to 6 or less, this for loop is going to execute. Okay. And the A equals I minus 1, because arrays start at 0, not 1. I had to drop that value down by 1, so we'll start at 0. So the first time through, as you can see here, you can have the first short name, first short name, the name and description of the first one, which is strength. And then we put in the code for our button, which is going to be the same form submit for each one through. And the attribute number is just going to be the same number as our increment. So that right there. So when I pass the formula, I'm going to know which attribute he wants to edit or change. See how much code those arrays replaced? Saves us a lot of space. It's less complicated. Perfect. Okay, let's save that. Like I said, the reason why I want to do this, so people have more control over the game, they don't like certain attributes, they can change them. If they don't want 5, they can only put in 4 attributes, leave the others as nils, and do whatever they want. So in the next video, we're going to talk a little bit more about what happens when you hit the play button. Okay, well, we'll see you then. And don't forget, you can download the files to accompany this. Thanks a lot. I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to click on the like button, join my channel, or leave a comment. Thanks for watching.